Marvel's Shang-Chi is a massive hit. What do you want to see at the PlayStation Showcase? And a beloved survival horror game is making a dramatic comeback. All that and the latest and everything cool today in The Rundown. Hey, welcome to The Rundown. My name is Victor Lucas, and I'm so happy that you found me here in the Electric Playground. Today's episode is brought to you by Pinnacle, which is back and headed to the Vancouver Convention Center. It's hosted by the Gaming Stadium, along with partners Even Matchup Gaming, Gallant Gaming, and Vancouver Street Battle, and they're bringing you 3 days of non-stop gaming action. Pinnacle runs Friday, October 8th to Sunday, October 10th, and it's going to feature a $30,000 prize pool around some of the best in competitive gaming like Smash Bros. Ultimate, Street Fighter, and Guilty Gear. You can register today to compete or spectate at tgs.gg. All right, and today's episode is dedicated to Brandon Campbell, who said, "Liu seems like so many of my friends, just a chill dude. Great interview, Vic. This movie deserves all the praise it's getting. Can't wait to see more of this guy in the MCU, and I definitely want that game. I love that Liu is a big fan of Mua 3. Dude has great taste in games. He certainly does. He's a huge gamer. He was a ton of fun to speak with, and I'm so happy for him and for everybody involved with Shang-Chi. I actually saw Simu Liu talking with Ed Boon over Twitter, both expressing mutual admiration. I was so happy to see that. It's very cool, but I have lots of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings good news to report. Marvel's latest Phase 4 film, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, did blockbuster business over the Labor Day weekend, pulling in $90 million on big screens everywhere. This was a film that you could only go and see out in theaters, and people masked up and went out to see this thing on screens everywhere. The cinema score was quite high. People came away from this film buzzing about everybody's performance and the beauty of the film, and very entertained by this movie, which was fantastic to see. I love the film. My reviews on the channel, you definitely want to check that out. I also got a chance to speak with Simu Liu, the star of the movie, and also Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And I wanted to ask him about making this movie with the intention that people were going to see it multiple times.
I hope people go back and see it multiple times and get more from each screening. Those are my favorite types of movies that have enough care put into the details of the production design and the wardrobe and the music and the cinematography. And our team was so extraordinary on this movie to weave storylines and little clues and Easter eggs. They're everywhere in this movie. So yes. I think multiple viewings you will soak up quite a bit in this film.
And the other thing that I wanted to ask Destin about is what he sees for Shang-Chi's future. How do you think, from your own vantage point, Shang-Chi kind of fits into the wider landscape of the MCU?
For us, it was extremely important to not only capture the respect of the culture and the respect of the rich history of martial arts movies that came before us, but it was equally important to make sure that Shang-Chi in the end of this movie would be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with all the other great superheroes in the MCU. I think it would have been a disservice to every community, the Marvel community and the Asian American community, to not have Shang-Chi reach that level by the end of this movie. And I feel extremely excited to the possibilities that are ahead of this character.
So yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Shang-Chi moving forward. We're going to see him in games. We're going to see a resurgence in popularity with the comic lines. We're going to see him popping up in lots of other Marvel movies. And of course, there are going to be sequels. Very, very exciting stuff. Let me know what you thought of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in the comments below. And now we're going to shift over to the video game space and talk about what PlayStation PlayStation has up its sleeve for its next showcase. Sony's next PlayStation showcase takes place this Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and I am going to live stream it so that we can all chat about all of the reveals and the announcements together. I actually asked people on Twitter what they're hoping to see at the PlayStation showcase, and I got some great replies. Matthew Levitan says, bring back Resistance. OEB Pete says, backwards compatibility for the PlayStation 3 back to the PlayStation 1, and he says, no chance, right, Vic? I don't think we're getting that. Adam Leonhardt said, everything, and he employed the use of Thanos to convey that message. I also got some other replies hoping that there was going to be an announcement of Bluepoint being acquired by Sony and that they are working on that fabled Metal Gear Solid remake for the PlayStation 5, which would just be incredible. And I also got, some suggestions for what Sucker Punch should be working on. Jordan Swafford said Sly Cooper not being stuck on a bullshit cliffhanger anymore, so he obviously wants a new Sly Cooper game, as do I. And another classic Sucker Punch franchise is speculated to possibly be making a resurgence, and that is Infamous. I saw Spawnwave was talking about that not too long ago, and that would be fascinating. It would be incredibly wild if Sucker Punch has expanded and they can do 2 or possibly 3 different games at the same time. Imagine if they're making a Sly Cooper, an Infamous, and a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. I would be insane. That would be incredible. I have something kind of wacky to posit, and I've been thinking about this a little bit. We know that Tom Holland is going to be Nathan Drake in the Uncharted film that's coming out next year. I have been thinking that Sony has laid the groundwork for Tom Holland to take over the role of Nathan Drake in the video games as well. Nolan North visited the set of the Uncharted film, and it sort of felt like a little bit of passing of the torch to Tom Holland. Of course, he's going to be, on screens everywhere as the character soon. And then we also got a new Peter Parker in Insomniac's first Spider-Man game. And he was fashioned to look a little bit younger, a little more Tom Holland-like. So I feel like some of the seeds have been sown for a massive change like this. I know it would be shocking and a huge surprise if we got a Tom Holland Uncharted game, but the franchise is massive and super fun, and I suspect that they're putting everything they can to make the Uncharted film solid. That has yet to be seen. We don't know if it's going to be a good movie or not, but imagine if Sony now is going to be making Tom Holland starring Uncharted video games for the PlayStation 5, or at least one of them. Wouldn't that be crazy? And now I also happen to think that Insomniac is going to show off something for the future of the Spider-Man universe. It's been a number of years since we played Spider-Man originally on the PlayStation 4. Miles Morales came out last year, but Insomniac is such a disciplined developer. They gave us a brand new Ratchet & Clank experience and Miles Morales, and they updated the first Spider-Man game to the PlayStation 5, and they did a phenomenal job with all 3 projects. I suspect we're going to get a look at whatever Spider-Man 2 is going to be this Thursday, and I couldn't be more excited about that. I may be wrong. Now, of course, some of the stuff that we are anticipating will be there will be actual gameplay for God of War Ragnarok, which was announced last year. We haven't seen any footage from this game. I think we might get another little taste of Horizon Forbidden West. We may also see something from Final Fantasy 16, which has been revealed already, but maybe we'll get a nice little update video, and that would be cool. And I also really like this suggestion from Trevor Adams on Twitter, who said a new Wipeout game built for the PlayStation 5. I love that association between Wipeout and PlayStation. I've always loved the Wipeout franchise. My mind would be blown if we got PS5 caliber visuals for the Wipeout franchise on the PS5. That would be amazing, and I'm all for that suggestion. He would also like to see Resistance and Time Splitters as well. I also got a great suggestion from Murray Lane on Twitter. It says Black Myth Wukong announced as a PS5 title. Now, we know that the game is coming to the PC, and we saw the Unreal Engine 5 demo, and NVIDIA has posted about this game, and it looks so slick, but this would be a very good time to tell the world that Black Myth Wukong is coming to the PS5. I agree with that. And maybe the most pertinent feedback that we received on this question was from Dave O'Brien, who says a ton of PS5 consoles ready to be shipped out to stores. And yes, Sony, that would be a fantastic announcement at your showcase, is that the PlayStation 5 is actually available for everybody to purchase if they want one of these consoles. But very, very excited to see what Sony's got up its sleeves. I hope that you will all join me. We'll do it live. It's going to be 1 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. September 9th, so please come back and let's watch it together, shall we? All right, well, speaking of video game updates, we got some good news from Remedy today. One of the coolest guys in the video game industry, Sam Lake, the creative director over at Remedy Entertainment, took to Twitter to confirm that Alan Wake Remastered is coming out everywhere. It's going to be published by Epic Games, but it's coming out on the PC through the Epic Games Store, but also the Xbox, and for the first time it's going to be hitting the PlayStation platforms as well. He wrote a nice long letter on a fan site devoted to Alan Wake called The Last Stop, and he said, "I'm beyond happy to tell you that at the time of writing this, Alan Wake Remastered is nearing its completion, confirmed, announced, coming up in partnership with Epic Games Publishing, multi-platform," and he says, "This is for you. Alan Wake came out over 11 years ago, and through that time you have told us again and again how much you love the game, the story, the characters, and the lore." And I am super excited for everybody at Remedy to have this opportunity. It's really cool that Epic has partnered with this company. They have made so many cool games for us. And I have to tell you something, I just fell in love with Psychonauts 2. It's an incredible, incredible experience. And there's all kinds of these cool psychic powers or psi powers. And I kept thinking about Control. I kept thinking about how tuned and wonderful the world of Control is. And it made me want to dive back into that. I know it's a weird comparison, but the powers that Raz had really made me feel like Jesse from Control in some ways. So I'm super psyched to see Alan Wake come back. And maybe what this is going to mean is we're going to get a tease of a sequel also in that PlayStation 5 showcase. And I think that may be why we're hearing about it this week. We'll find out on Thursday, but we know now that a remastered version of the original Alan Wake is headed our way. All right, just a couple quick things. There's a new Metroidvania that launches today. It's called F.I.S.T. Forged in Shadow Torch. I think I've talked about this before on the channel. I haven't had a chance to play it, but it's getting some pretty solid reviews, and it looks so freaking cool. You play as a badass bunny with all kinds of awesome tech and abilities and weaponry, and it's supposed to be kind of a conventional playing Metroidvania type experience where you unlock new areas of the map as you keep exploring stuff. And I'm right now currently playing Axiom Verge 2, which I'll have some thoughts on tomorrow's rundown. But this game speaks to me, and I'm definitely going to be diving into this, so I'll try and stream some of this week. It's called F.I.S.T., and it's out right now. And the folks over at 2K Sports released the City trailer for NBA 2K22, and I know that there's a lot of haters for this franchise, but I have to say that the City this time around looks much more alive. It looks like it's bustling with lots of different characters and little mini games and little activities and interactions that you can get into, helping to kind of embellish your integration into the NBA 2K22 world and the experience of playing the game. And of course, it leads right up to you taking the court and playing in the NBA. I mean, it looks freaking cool to me. When I checked out the trailer on YouTube, I saw a lot of comments down below the video about all the VC that you're going to have to buy to kind of really make the most out of this experience. But visually, and as a trailer sort of overview of what's in the game, it's incredibly impressive. It certainly looks next gen. I can't wait to play this game. I'll come back with some thoughts on it. And yeah, I expect that microtransactions are still a big part of the story with this franchise, but holy crap, does this ever look cool. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for the rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, thank you for hitting that subscribe button and that little bell to be notified for all of the new uploads that we'll put up there. Thank you also for checking out our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/EPN, and thank you especially to all of our EPN members. We'll see you tomorrow, and until then, play forever.